What was the most inappropriate time you couldn't control your laughter? My family tried moving my elderly grandparents into a nursing home. It was basically an experiment to see if they liked it and could deal with living in a new place. Well, my grandfather, who has lived in the same house since birth, was very angry about this move. The minute they arrived at the nursing home, he started acting out, dropping his pants in the hallway, sticking his tongue out at everyone, and being generally disagreeable. Myself and 2 other family members decided to join them for the first dinner at the new place. Walking over from their room to the dining room went smoothly. But once we got to the doors of the dining room, my grandfather stopped, clicked his heels together, stood at attention, and then promptly stuck up his arm and yelled "Heil Hitler." Then he goose-stepped his way to his table. It was horrible, but I could not stop laughing. To this day, it makes me laugh just thinking about it. I was in a seminar where a distinguished physiologist was talking about his research. He started talking about measuring enzyme activities, specifically the enzyme cytochrome C oxidase, which is shortened to COX. He was summarizing a slide and said, "That was for those of you who are into COX." I burst out laughing. I was the only one. People stared. I still couldn't stop laughing. I went so red from trying to hold it in. So awkward. I'm in nursing school. In my last class, we had to watch a video about people who had their children pass away, or had stillbirths. It was quite a sad video. Someone in the video was talking about their child's funeral. Mentioned that saying anything is better than saying nothing at all to the parents who had lost their children. She mentioned that someone told her, "Congratulations on accident." I don't know why. I lost it. Burst out laughing and couldn't stop for a good 5 minutes. All eyes were on me. I felt horrible. But if you were watching it, you'd probably laugh too. A few years ago, I went with my best friend to her grandpa's funeral. He was a veteran, so there were a lot of other veterans there as well. Everyone was sitting inside the church. The priest was doing the funeral mass. I was sitting next to my best friend. She was crying. On the other side of her was one of the veterans. He started coughing and accidentally let out a fart. The fart seemed to shock him and he exclaimed, "Oof." I couldn't help but laugh as silently as possible. Which wasn't really that silent. I felt so bad but still couldn't stop. I looked over to my friend to see if she was pissed at me, but realized that she was laughing too. That made me feel better. I was at a religious assembly and the speaker encouraged all of us 300 plus kids to start rubbing sandpaper on our little shards of wood in order to make everything new as Jesus did. As everyone started rubbing, my friend whispered to me that it sounds like a bunch of people furiously masturbating. I cracked up silently. But when the speaker said this is a sound many of you have heard before, I lost it. There was a boy in band class who tried to get out of doing something, I can't remember what it was, by saying his sister just got diagnosed with cancer. I just started busting up. I knew he was lying because he didn't have a sister. But everyone believed him and I got the nastiest looks from all 60 people in the room. Which made me laugh even more. Edit. Just so you know, he was kind of forced to tell the truth in the end. But even after everyone berated him for lying about something so serious, I was still the who laughed at it. Farted so loud during a rally it echoed throughout the entire gym. This was during the 8th grade. We were doing some kind of fundraiser for this kid that got hit on his bike a week before. The vice principal was talking about what exactly was wrong with him when I felt one brewing. So I leaned into my buddy Eric next to me and said, "Hey, I got a secret to tell you." I let it rip and comes out much louder than I expected. Sitting Indian style on the gym floor, the sound echoed out through the entire gym while everyone was dead silent. Even the VP went silent. While Eric and I were laughing our asses off. We get pulled out of the rally by my history teacher asking why we thought it would be funny to disrupt our VP like that. Through my laughter, I tried to explain I didn't know it was going to be that loud but ended up that way. Ended up getting 3 days detention for that. But it was well worth it. In psychology class my teacher was talking about probability for some reason and kept saying the chance of getting head. Each time he said it I burst out in laughter to the point where my teacher got quite pissed and had a rant about our immaturity. When the pregnant lady whose groceries I was bagging had her water break mid credit card swipe. Beep sploosh giggle. Unemployment 2K12 no regrets. Several years ago I was at a funeral with my brothers. A fairly distant family member that we didn't know that well had died. We had been there for ages. And we got really bored. So we tried to tell each other the shittiest jokes possible to pass time. But laughed too much. My older brother came up with knock knock who's there lettuce who let us in, for some reason. May the completely deadpan way he said it. Me and my younger brother started laughing. And I just couldn't stop. So there I was. In the middle of a crowd of people waiting for my family member to be buried. Just laughing hysterically.